Hi guys, this is Alvin. Welcome back to RUK Podcast, a podcast where we use our voices and hopefully inspire you to use yours too. And today we are joined by a very special guest. She's a singer, a songwriter, and also an author of Perfect Addiction, Claudia.
Hey, hi, Alvin. I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome. I was actually quite surprised you say yes to this podcast
Why?
because we never actually met. The very first time when I heard about you is from Brandon.
MFMF?
MMMF.
Yeah, okay.
And then because you guys were doing the speed writing thing
Yeah,
on
yeah.
TikTok. So I like all the songs that you guys wrote. It was
Yeah.
like very impressive. And also after that, I think I've seen your videos of you talking about your book.
Yeah,
What part to book and then to movie.
yeah.
So I was like, wow, finally, another Malaysian made star. And then we were just talking with my team, like who else should we invite to the podcast
Yeah.
so that we can inspire people too. Then your name came in the picture, and then voila, you're here.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so just like out of curiosity, like why did you say yes to the podcast?
I mean, why would I turn down a podcast from Alvin Chong? You know what I mean? With Alvin Chong. But this is my first podcast. I've never actually been on a podcast before.
Okay.
So I'm always down to like try new things. And also I feel like people don't really see like, the behind the scenes of like my life and stuff. I always kind of have a polished version of me, especially when I'm doing like content for music and my books and stuff. So it's nice to kind of share certain things with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I'm on it. We are on it actually. So let's start with like a little bit backstory of yourself. Like, how you started or like where were you studying? Like why did you choose like music as your career or even as an author as your career? Like
Yeah.
just briefly.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in high school, like I was a very like introverted person. So I actually still am a very introverted person.
I don't believe you.
Really?
You're so outspoken. Like you speak a lot. I mean, even when we met downstairs before the podcast starts, you were like very confident in what you're saying.
I mean, I try to project that version of me, but like I'm quite an introverted person lah, like in nature. Yeah. In high school, like I was also like quite a sheltered person. Also, my parents wouldn't let me really go anywhere. So all I had was like myself. Like I had so much time to myself. So
Are you the only child?
Yes, I am an only child.
Okay, no
yeah,
wonder.
yeah, that makes sense,
The
right?
only daughter, of course, your parents are being protected.
Exactly. Yeah, so I just loved reading a lot. So I think like my library, I have a library of like books in
Wow.
in my study room. I think it has like about 1,000 books right now.
So what kind of books?
A lot of like stuff like young adult stuff. It was basically a collection from like last time long ago. Like I had like Hunger Games and like Divergent, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I just loved reading so much, and then I decided that I wanted to try writing. And so what happened was that there wasn't really a platform to do it at the time. I think it was about like 2013 or 2014 or whatever. So what I did was that me and like my two best friends would have a Facebook group, and we would just share stories on it. So we would just like post chapters and stuff like that, and just comment on each other's like stories and stuff. But I really wanted like a bigger platform. Like I wanted to share my stories somewhere else. So then I was like searching for places to do it, and this app called Wattpad came out. So then I was like, ooh, why not I just like put my stories on there and then see what happens. So I would update very regularly. So you know how like Wattpad functions? It's kind of like, okay, never mind, it's okay. So it's like a reading/writing app. It's kind of like, so people would just post like chapters of like their books, like kind of whenever they want. And then, if they complete the book, they complete it. And there's a lot of like fan fiction like on it. So at the time, like when I joined, Wattpad had like a lot of like One Direction fanfics.
Okay.
Yeah. So very interesting stuff, like like Harry Styles, like stuff, But I wanted to do like original stories. So I decided that I was gonna create this series called the Perfect Series, and I would just have like couples and like write their journeys and stuff like that. And surprisingly, like it kind of like blew up on the site. So I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like maybe I could like make money from this and stuff. And at the time I was doing it, Wattpad was also kind of expanding to doing like publishing. So they weren't just like an online platform anymore. They were doing publishing, and they were also doing like movies and stuff like that. So I knew that this was happening, so I reached out to them and be like, hey, you know, like this series is like popping off. Like, is there any chance like it could be made into a movie? I just kind of like sent a 1-page pitch of like my story to see if like they even responded. And then like, we'll make this movie like because this is like such a good like opportunity. Yeah, so that's how it happened, and now we're here, I guess. Yeah.
So like when you write, so the movie came first?
So the movie came first, yes.
Then
So
only you release the book.
yeah, I released the books after.
So when you write the chapters, right? Did you imagine like who would be in the scene? Like, you know, sometimes when we want to write something, we would picture like some faces to it.
Oh my god,
Did you
okay, funny how you say that, because on Wattpad you can kind of like put like actors or like models as like the characters that you imagine. So you can be like, oh, I imagine this character is like Dylan Sprouse or something, and you can put a picture of him, like, you know, just to have the reader be like trying to have a nice picture, general picture of like the character. So one of the characters that I had in the book, I put this guy, like this random guy that I searched on Google. It's like, his name is Matthew Noska. So then I put him as one of the my imagined like dreamed characters, and then I found out later that he was cast in the movie. Not as that character, but like as another one. So it was kind of crazy that like that happened. Yeah.
Maybe they saw it. You know, when the casting team.
It's possible. Yeah. It's
why
possible.
not we try to cast him on the movie itself? And then later on, they found out he probably is more suitable to the other character.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of interesting.
Cool though. Yeah.
And then what makes you want to publish the book?
I mean, I've always wanted to publish the books for sure. Like, I just, like, for the longest time, there was a lot of publishing opportunities even before the movie came out, but I felt like I wasn't ready yet because I was still very young. I was like about 16 when I wrote the first novel. So I was very young, and I wasn't very experienced as well. So I wanted to wait until I was a bit older and I had a lot more like life experience under my belt to be able to, you know, take what I wrote from Wattpad and make it into an actual like polished version of, you know, what I imagined. So yeah.
So did you have any help like from other people to polish the book, or you just do everything by yourself?
I mean, for the most part, it's me, but like I also have like an editor and stuff lah. So yeah, she helps me definitely like structure everything and make sure I'm not like
So the book, it's like worldwide.
Yeah, you can get it anywhere. Okay. I think you can get it here also, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Wow, I'm gonna check it out. I'm not a book person.
Yeah, like, don't worry about it.
I don't really read. So when is the movie coming out?
The movie's out already.
Well, is this showing in Malaysia though?
It's on Prime Video. So actually, we have Prime Video here, so you can actually watch it.
It just came in. Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
So like, did you get involved in the movie production? Like, did you get to meet the cast, or like do a video call, or like maybe with the director itself?
Yeah, I mean, I did like a call with the producers and the director, and then they sent me some versions of the script. And I would like give my opinion, my feedback and stuff. But it was really up to them to decide whether they wanted to take it or not. Actually, really like authors in that kind of book to movie adaptations, we don't really have a lot of creative control when it comes to movie adaptations. Only if you're really, really popular. Like,
Or you put in money.
Or you put in money, or if you're a producer, right? Yeah. So, but they were really nice. Like, they invited me to come to set, and it was in Poland. So yeah, I got to meet like the cast. They were all really, really nice. I think I was very just like kind of starstruck by everything. Like, oh my god, it's a movie set, you know? Like, I've never been to a movie set before.
Very overwhelming.
It is really overwhelming. And like what was so interesting, because like I was there for a week, so I was also behind the director, like watching everything. So it was, what was so interesting to me is that it takes so long for them to set up one like side of the scene, like even just like one camera shot,
the lighting, the angles, and then like, have to keep repeating the same dialogues.
Exactly. And then, it was like 45 minutes, 1 hour of that, and then like the actors would just come in, they'll do like 3-4 takes, and then they're done like in 15 minutes. So that was the part that was quicker, and like it was really the setup that took so long.
So wow, it's really impressive. So I would assume that writing came first before singing.
Actually, singing came first.
So you started singing when you were like way younger?
Yeah,
Before
I mean, I
16?
always loved to sing. But then like when writing came, I was obviously focused on that, and then I just kind of I didn't think like being a musician or being an artist was actually an option. Like you don't kind of grow up and be like, I want to be a singer. You like, what does that really mean? You know what I
Especially
mean?
in Malaysians' mentality,
Yeah,
family mentality.
exactly.
Their
So
parents would be like, what the fuck?
yeah, exactly. So my parents were really like, you better do this
Study.
and make this successful, you know, like the writing stuff. And I did it, but like obviously I was still I was in college, you know, when I was still writing online, and I was so far away. Like I studied overseas, so I studied in Lancaster in the UK. So I was so bored as well, and I was also like doing this writing thing, but at that point I was also like, you know, I had heartbreaks and stuff like that. I was going through some stuff lah, and I don't want to write a novel about it. Like I would rather try to convey it through something else, right? So I had a youth with me at that time in uni. So then I started like strumming some stuff, and I figured out like, oh, I really like to write songs. Like it's definitely a much faster way to get a story out, right? So just singing about heartbreak and things like that.
So did you post about your songs online, like what you did with your book?
I was more shy about it, I think, because I felt like it wasn't very good. Like at the time when I was, you know, writing these songs. But yeah, I mean, I sent it to a few friends of mine and stuff, and one of my friends connected me with Erwin, who is my producer lah. So at first, like I didn't know like who he is. Like when my friend was like, "Oh, you should like go meet this guy and like make your make some music together and stuff." And I was like, "Who's this guy?" Like I think at the time also, like when you think of producers, you don't think of like young guys. You think of like really old guys in like studios and stuff like that, right?
Bald and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So then I was like, "Ooh, like okay, well just give it a shot." And then like I met him like at his house. He had a home studio and stuff, and then we got together like and then we started making music together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like did you guys polish some of the demos you wrote when you were in college?
Actually, I don't think we ever did any of the songs that like I wrote in uni. Like we just kind of decided to write new songs instead.
But did you even show him
I did show him, yeah. I think he would right now he would probably say it's bad.
So back then he was like
he was like
okay, it's okay,
yeah, it's
but we can do better.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're fully just singing and writing at the same time.
Yeah, I lead a double life.
So any new books?
Yeah, I'm still finishing the series. So the Perfect series, I think I'm at my last book right now. Just finished like the manuscript and stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully after that, like once that series is wrapped, like I really want to throw myself into music a lot more. I think like as I grow older, I realize that is more my passion. Like I think I'm at that stage of life where I just feel like I want to do that for the meantime, because for the longest time, my teenagehood and like my young adulthood was focused so much on like writing. So yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about something else now.
Okay.
So throughout your whole journey as an author and also a uprising, going global Malaysian rising star, is there any like moments where you feel like you want to give up, or like your friends say some shit about you and you feel like why would they say things like that and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Or you're just that lucky, nothing happened.
I'm sure like there are people that talk like that, like they talk behind my back and stuff. And I did have some people kind of even when I was writing books, just writing books, not even doing the singing thing, like I had people in uni like judge me and be like, oh, like she should like have a stable job or whatever, because you never know, like this kind of thing, like you might not even make money out of it. A lot of authors actually don't make money out of their books. Like they don't even sell like 10 copies or whatever. So like I had a lot of like judgment and stuff like that. But I realized like, you know, they're just toxic people. I just kind of like cut them out, or I just kind of like tune them out.
But these people are the people that you're not really close with.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is like the people you thought you guys were friends,
Mm.
and then it would be like
I've actually never had that kind of betrayal before, or if
So
you
you're
want to call
that
it.
lucky. I hate you.
I want to know. Okay, this sounds like it's coming from personal experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is I mean, like
Yeah.
I have been in the industry for quite some time.
Yeah.
Since 2009,
Mm-hmm.
and so you know, like how I jumped from the Chinese industry in Malaysia to Malay, and then now to English.
Yeah.
So every time when there's a transitioning, you know, from Chinese to Malay scene, the Chinese scene people, friends, producers, or the media would say stuff like, "It's not gonna make it.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
being so stupid. You're throwing away all the
Yeah.
efforts and stuff like that." So when I finally like sort of made it, and then they'll try and like
Tear you
suck up
down.
to you.
Oh.
And like, how did you do it? Blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And now I'm also transitioning to English.
Yeah.
And then people will be like, "Oh, your English is not that great," and stuff like that. You don't even write songs. Now you're trying like new things at this age. Is that so stupid? Or you should just stick with like, you know, whatever you were doing. You were doing great already. But I'm that kind of person. Like I feel like I could do more. Like I should try more.
Yeah.
While I still can, even if I don't make it.
Yeah.
But at least I tried.
Yeah. You
I
don't want to
live
like
in regrets.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Yeah.
you know, hence this podcast is made. It's one of the reasons why I want to have a safe space to talk about what I really want to talk about. And then the second thing is to polish my English. Third thing, because I just want to work on my communication skill. Like I don't really speak much
English. Oh, in general.
In general, like, I don't like talking. For me, it's very exhausting.
Yeah. Okay.
Like usually, I'll just observe.
Yeah.
And then I'll keep everything in my mind. Unless I have to like voice out something that I don't feel comfortable with. But usually in a hangout session, I'm the most quiet one.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I would rather be you, really, but I
I'm
don't
the
know
real
why.
introvert. So you're not.
I'm just a pretend extrovert, you know.
I used to pretend to be like, you know, outgoing and like, you know, because I want people to like me. But now when I'm at this age, I just feel like I just want to be myself.
That's true.
Like
Yeah.
if you like me, you like me. If you don't like me, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like I'm not forcing everybody that I meet, I met to like me.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
That's
I
a
used to
very
be like
mature
you.
way. I will maybe get to you, like, you know, I'll probably transition to you in a few years or something.
Maybe another 20 years.
20 years.
Because like you're so like I can feel like you're a happy-go-lucky kind of girl. Like whatever bad things ever happen to you, you just like brush it off. Like tomorrow's a new day. That kind of thing. What zodiac are you?
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius?
Yeah.
Oh.
What are you?
No one. Aquarius.
Oh, okay.
What?
No, what? Nothing.
Okay. No
actually, I don't know what all the signs represent. So I'm just like, oh, okay, interesting.
What about MBTI?
I think I'm INTJ.
I
Architect or something?
TJ. So I'm INFJ.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What is that?
I don't know. It's too many alphabets, so it's
we
hard to
thought like
remember.
we're gonna analyze it, but actually
but we're
we
not.
don't know anything related
Because
to the
it's fun
signs. or
because
whatever.
like MBTI is like sort of like a thing now.
Yeah.
Because my generation used to ask like people what horoscope are you, what zodiac sign are you,
yeah.
but then it's like all about
Yeah.
MBTI,
Yeah.
about your rising star sign, and all
moon
that.
rising, sun rising, like all that kind of
too
stuff.
too much. For
That's
me.
crazy.
So enough of the stuff that we are not familiar with. Let's go back to music. So you released a couple of songs already, and how did the book or the movie impacted your music career? Like does it help? Or like it's not really helping because people who like Perfect Addition see you as an author, don't really like you for your music, or like they are being really supportive?
I mean, I would say that like the fans that I got from like you know, the books and the movies and stuff like that, they're mostly a similar audience to like my music. Like they're, you know, girls, they're young girls. And you know, I tend to write about like heartbreak and boys and stuff like that. So even in my music, just as I do in my books. So like there is a lot, there's like an intersection there. But I wouldn't say like I use the movie or the book to gain listeners. I think it just kind of is a byproduct of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in general, I think I really try to separate that my author persona from my music persona. So that was the reason why I also changed my artist name from Claudia Tan to just Claudia, just because my book stuff was under Claudia Tan. So I just wanted to have a bit of a distinction there also, because I want to make it as an artist without that help. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can totally relate.
Yeah.
That, because like, you know how I sort of got my fame from the acting scene.
Yeah.
And then when I do music, people will feel like, you know, like, well, in my case, it's a little bit different. Like if you started off as an actor, it's kind of hard for people to see you as a musician or like a singer itself. So it's unlikely people will actually acknowledge that part of you. So which is why I'm doing English songs right now. And also I sort of have a new profile persona for my English songs. I changed it to Alvin. To make it look cooler.
I like it.
So it's like Alvin Chong.
It's a thing now anyways.
Thing. So so all my acting stuff or like branding stuff, it's just sits on the Alvin Chong category. And Alvin is mostly just about song. 100% about songs. So I also want to get involved more in like songwriting itself to make myself more creditable as a musician. Because to be honest, I don't have much live performances experience. It's mostly just like concerts, New Year's countdown, or like maybe Christmas, or maybe some shows at the corporate event. So this year, maybe next year onwards, I'll try to get myself involved in like small gigs. To hang around with more musicians. Instead of just like
it's good experience though, like doing these small gigs.
And also I feel like musicians are more fun to hang out with.
They are.
There's no like filters. Like people just say whatever they want to say. Like if you look at
especially like now, like with TikTok and stuff like that, like you have to be quite relatable and stuff. So you have to share a lot in order for people to connect with you through your music and stuff. So so you can kind of let that, you know, image like a bit down and be on the down low and stuff, and people don't care.
So speaking of TikTok, I started TikTok before pandemic, but I was only active during pandemic because we didn't have much to do during the pandemic. And I think I made 2 TikTok videos a day.
Wow, that's a lot.
Consistently. That's how I grew my TikTok account. Like in a few months, I think I reached like 1 million followers. And then, because I told you I am an introvert. So looking back at the videos that I made, it was so cringe. Like I have to like dance, and then my facial expression, I was like, what the hell was I doing? So I actually deleted some of the videos.
Oh, I was literally gonna say I'm gonna go and check it out.
Like there are still some left because the views are still growing. But then like most of the time when I look it back, I'll be like, oh, I need to take this down. Like I couldn't stand this anymore. And after the pandemic, I kind of like slow it down because I don't know, because people always feel like they know me from my social media. So if they look at the videos I made, they feel like I'm that kind of person. And now it's just like, I don't know what else I want to do. So every time when I see your TikTok videos, you were doing like songwriting and you talk about your song and stuff like that. I actually tried doing that. But I didn't upload it because it was so shitty. I didn't know what to say. Like, you know, I didn't know like what how can I promote my music, or how can I describe my song to people. So maybe you can give me a tip or two.
Ooh, I would say like that's also my struggle though. Like I think even when I post like content like talking about music and stuff, it's not really me just sharing like there's a script, right? Like because I'm not I'm not the type of person that like can just talk on the go and just like upload something. I think I have to like think really hard about what I have to say. So I usually just do a lot of voiceovers. Yeah. But like I do feel like in order to be a musician these days, you do have to have that relatability aspect. So people really want to know what happens behind the scenes, like how you write your songs. And just you having fun in the studio, even something like that could be like quite interesting. I'm trying to do more of that often, like just have a phone out and, you know, like as it records like the brainstorming, like the production session and stuff, and like things like that are very like people just really love to consume because they've never seen like anything like that. So I'm also trying to share that aspect of me, just trying to share more behind the scenes stuff. Yeah.
So when did you start making TikTok videos? Also during the pandemic?
Yeah, I think like it was slightly after. I don't think I did any during the pandemic. I was probably just watching a lot of them and just feeling really shy. Like, do I want to do it? Do I not want to do it? But like when I started to get more serious into making music, like that was when I knew like I had to use TikTok like as a way to get, you know, my music out. So I'm happy that has brought me some success. I don't think my music would be really anywhere without TikTok and like me pushing it through the platform. Yeah.
Do you ever feel pressured making TikTok videos?
Yeah, all the time. I feel like I don't really enjoy it as much as other people, you know, other content creators and stuff. Like I really just kind of think of it as like a vessel to like promote my music. I don't really like, I would rather just be in there and consume the content rather than be the one making it. But I understand it's very important to, especially me as an independent artist, right? Like I don't have a label like backing me or anything like that. So I pretty much have to do everything myself, like marketing and all that. So that's like, I just have to think of it as an extension of my music, you know, like something that I have to do.
It takes so much effort.
It does take so much effort.
So now we're going to talk about songwriting.
Okay.
So I'm very amateur in songwriting. So you wrote a lot of songs. So I just want to see if our methods are similar.
Okay.
So how you start to write a song? Do you have like a concept first, or do you like go to the producers and you guys write together and stuff like that?
So I think like I usually start with some chords. Most of the time it's just me kind of starting everything. So like the production comes later. Like I think that's just how me and Erwin work. I'm a very like singer-songwriter. Like I kind of want to just have my own story first and then kind of build around it, right? So I start with some chords. I'm not a very good like guitar player or like ukulele player. So what I do is I go on Ultimate Guitar and I just like type in some chords and then I just play. Do you know like you can just play like chords on like Ultimate Guitar? So I just like kind of do that and then feel like, you know, the vibe of it and then start humming the melody. So I hum the melody first and then build like a story around it. Like how do I want this to go? Like where do I want this to go? Like how does the chorus, how am I going to make the chorus catchy? You know? So if like I hum a melody and I forget it after like a few like minutes, then I know it's not a good melody, right?
Okay.
But like if it's something that is stuck in my head, then I know that this is the one, right?
So like you know all the basic chords.
Kind of the basic ones, yeah.
Like you know, like some songwriter they use like a million chords in one song.
Yeah.
So do you just repeat the chords like over and over for the entire song, or like you also switch it up?
Okay, so what I do is that like, okay, if it's a basic chord song, like that's fine. But if I feel like it needs a chord change, I just kind of like picture how it sounds like in my head. And then I go to my producer and be like, okay, it's gonna sound like this. Like, do you know what chord this is? And he'll have to figure it out like himself. Sorry, Erwin.
Sorry, but not sorry. That's the problem I have because most of the time, like, you know, how I've seen like TikTok videos about how people say like all these songs shares the same chords.
Yeah.
But when I try, I mean, like, it's hard for me to do it. So when I start writing my own song, I always needed someone that has more experience, like, you know, in terms of like choosing the beats and the chords and stuff like that to help me with it.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I'll just be stuck there. Like I don't know what to write. I don't know like what sort of melody would fit in the chord and stuff like that. So my method it's very simple. It's like usually at least I'll have one friend
Mm-hmm.
or one guy or one girl just like be there with me. We'll just like talk about what kind of concept do we want to write about.
Mm-hmm.
Usually what inspired me to write a song is either my own story or the stories that I heard from my friends. Like, I feel like this thing, it's really, I'm feeling so much from the stories.
Yeah.
So I want to write about it.
Yeah.
So we'll sort of like talk about what we feel about the situation, and then the input from another person, aka the producer itself. And then like we'll start writing like some pointers, these are the words that has to be in the song itself. And then we'll start choosing the beat, and we discuss like what kind of genre, what kind of vibe do you want. And then we'll just like start humming the melodies first.
Yeah.
So after like a few tracks, maybe like 20 tracks, then we'll start choosing like, okay, I think this part is good for the verse.
Yeah.
And then this part is good for the pre-chorus and stuff like that. So after we match it up and we play the song a few times, if we don't like it, we'll just like
scrap it.
Scrap the part that we didn't like, and then just
record over it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. That's a pretty good way though. Like I feel like when I'm stuck and I feel the need to write a song that day, like I can let the producer lead as well, and kind of have him, play the chords and like, build the beat. And I can also top line like that. Yeah, like so there was this song called Feel Alive that I put. It was like a disco song. Like that one was completely my producer like built it, the whole thing, like the whole beat, and I just wrote over it, and it still made sense. Like it still made sense for me as an artist. So yeah, there's so many different ways to do it, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your song got played by Jungkook the other day.
Yeah.
So like, did you notice during the live stream, or someone sent it to you?
I didn't. Okay, so what happened was that how I found out was people kept commenting on my Instagram, like Jungkook like played your song on We Like, but I didn't know what We Like. Is it Weverse? Oh, sorry, Weverse. I didn't know what Weverse was. Like that was like a foreign concept to me, so I had to go and like search what that was, and then so then I saw the live stream, and it was like the first song that he played on his live stream, which was kind of great. So he was just like vibing with his jacket or whatever and just kind of like dancing in the room, and I was like so shocked about it. I was like, this is not happening. This feels surreal that this is happening right now. Like how did he get the song? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like I feel like at that point I was still a pretty small artist as well. So I was just like, how did it get from me to him? That's just a crazy jump. So
probably it's from like Spotify, the new music chart, or like maybe he was listening to different playlists or something.
I don't know. It could be.
If not, then like how Spotify would make your own playlist for you. So if he listened to this kind of genres, like by himself, most of the time, then sometimes you get suggested. I don't know, I'm just like thinking out loud.
It could be. It could be. But it's still crazy that it feels like a leap. Like it's like, wow, how did it get from here to there? But
does it help on your streaming?
Yeah, like it pretty much like blew the song up. I'm really happy because I felt like at that time when I released it, it was a pretty underrated song of my discography. So like it was nice to have people like really love the song as well. And it was cool experience.
Nice.
I didn't know that was something that I wanted, but I'm happy that happened. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure, like, if you're, because the funny thing is, because I was always struggling about, do I want to make like a song that has a catchy hook, or do I want to write something about what I feel?
Okay.
Because I think most of the musicians, when they write songs for the longest time, sometimes like the catchy ones is not really what we wanted. Because sometimes the catchy ones we couldn't convey the feelings and the messages through a catchy song. So like for me, it's like I used to think if I write a song, if I put out a song, I worried too much about whether people will like the song. So hence it's kind of restricted my creativity in terms of writing.
That's interesting.
Maybe for you it's different. Like you probably managed to put both together, like do a catchy song at the same time. Also, you manage to deliver what you want to deliver through the song. But for me, it's like sometimes the catchy one, yeah, it's catchy, but it's not the
an accurate representation of what
evergreen song.
Yeah, okay.
You probably like, in this moment, this type of hook, this type of genre, this type of sound, it's like the thing. But what about like 2 years after? Or 3 years after? So this is what I'm worrying about.
Yeah.
So nowadays, whenever I write a song, I feel like, what am I feeling right now? So that is my objective.
Yeah.
Like in that moment, because I want to record this feeling. So I want to write about this feeling. So what does this feeling stand for in terms of like what type of music does it match my feelings? So yeah,
I guess it like depends on what kind of artist you want to be, I guess.
I don't know. Like people always ask me like, what kind of genre are you? Like what type of songs, like what kind of artist are you? I'll just say like unidentified. Because I'm still exploring.
You're still pretty young in that your English music career. So there's plenty of time to like figure that out. Like I didn't know what I wanted to be also, and then I ended up being a pop artist. So yeah.
I'll probably end up as a pop artist, but then like, because I'm definitely not a hip hop artist. I'm definitely not an R&B.
R&B?
R&B. I want to say Airbnb. R&B, hip hop, or like classical.
Yeah.
So maybe like pop, but also not
you
so.
You could do like indie pop / pop.
Yeah,
like I feel like I'm
pop.
also indie pop / pop, like kind of thing. Yeah.
So,
but nowadays pop has a very loose definition. I would say.
Very wide.
Yeah. You can have drill music on like pop playlists. Yeah. So
nowadays I'll just say like unidentified. So just like.
Yeah. Genre fluid.
Genre fluid. That's the right term. So have you like find out your fan base? Is it mostly Malaysians or like is a mixture of different countries?
So I think right now my top listening country is still Malaysia. But recently with like my new single Toast, like that kind of went a bit viral on like TikTok and stuff like that. It really captured like US audience as well. So that was very interesting because that was the first time that happened. Most of my other music has just been staying around like Indonesians and like Philippines and stuff like that. So it's really nice to kind of have like it's a nice validation as well. So it means that it's catchy everywhere and also there. So yeah.
So like did they like interact with you, like send you like DMs or like saying like they like your song and stuff like that, or just like you just notice them from the your artist profile?
Yeah, I was looking at my artist profile because it's very hard to gauge, I think, on TikTok as well, like the people that comment. Like, so I was just really shocked when I saw like US was like the second most performing country like for that song. So by like miles from like Southeast Asia. So like it was crazy that like I hope that like that's the direction that my other singles will have as well. Yeah.
So well, hopefully you get to perform in the US soon.
Yeah, I hope so too, man.
That would be great because like there's actually not much of Malaysian musician out there. Do you have any advice towards like anyone that wanted to be like you? Like in terms of like being an author or like wanted to start their music career, what kind of attitude should they have and what should they mentally prepare themselves?
Yeah. I mean, I think my biggest advice would be like, don't be afraid to be like shameless in the sense where always look for opportunities. I feel like at the start of my music career, I was waiting for opportunities rather than like, trying to reach out to producers and songwriters to like collab and stuff. And that was like a mistake in my early career. But now I'm trying to definitely like, seize every opportunity that I can get. And that's the only way to really get there. I would
Get yourself
say.
out there.
Yeah. I think even with like making content and stuff, it's so vital to really push your music through that. There's really no other way that is as effective, I would say. I've tried everything. So like this is really like the only way, like, or at least not the only way, but like the most effective way, I feel. And really just really just be shameless, I would say.
Let's be shameless.
Yeah.
I mean, like that one, I agree.
Yeah.
Another thing is like just don't care about what other people say.
Yes.
I mean, like I mentioned earlier, like if you know this is what you want,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't care like what other people say, because it's your life.
Yeah.
And you only live once.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to
Yeah.
fail and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But as long as you learn something
Mm-hmm.
in every mistake that you made, and then
Yeah.
to be better the next time, I think just go for it.
Yeah. Good advice.
Okay, thank you so much once again for saying yes to this podcast. I think we both, I have a lot to learn from you in terms of like writing and your positive energy. Yeah, I have to put it on a note after I go home tonight. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You're always welcome to come back if you have more things to say.
Yes, let me know. Just hit me up.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, our new episode will be uploaded every by Wednesday 9 p.m. on Spotify, Apple Music, and also YouTube. See you next time.